call a stag a horse?
指鹿为马。
Hello everyone. This story might change the way you see power forever. Over 2,000 years ago in China, a man did something unbelievable. He walked into the royal court with a deer. The animal was nervous. Its hoofs clicked on the cold stone floor. It had large brown eyes and a coat full of white spots. Then the man looked straight at the emperor. He cleared his throat. He pointed at the animal. He called it a horse. Not a joke. Not a mistake. He said it with a straight face. The man was Zhao Gao. He was the prime minister of the Qin dynasty. But being prime minister was not enough for him. He wanted the throne. He wanted total control. There was just one problem. He had enemies. He just did not know who they were. Some people smiled at him during the day. But he suspected they cursed him at night. He needed to know who was loyal. He needed to know who would lie for him. He needed a test that no one would ever forget. So he came up with a plan. He had a deer brought into the grand palace hall. It was early morning. Light streamed in through high wooden windows. Dust floated in the golden beams. The deer stood there with its antlers held high. It was a beautiful creature. Its ears twitched. It could smell the fear in the room. It was clearly a deer. Everyone could see it. Even a child would know it was not a horse. Horses do not have antlers. Horses do not have spotted fur like that. Zhao Gao smiled. It was a slow smile. It did not reach his eyes. He said to the emperor, "Your Majesty, I present to you a fine horse." His voice was smooth like oil on water. The emperor laughed out loud. He leaned forward on his throne. "Prime Minister, you must be joking. You drank too much wine last night. This is a deer, not a horse. Look at those antlers. Look at its coat. How could this possibly be a horse? Did you hit your head this morning?" The hall went quiet. Some officials smiled along with the emperor. They thought it was a funny mistake. They waited for Zhao Gao to laugh and admit the joke. But he did not laugh. Zhao Gao did not flinch. He did not blink. His face was like stone. He simply turned to the officials standing nearby. He spread his arms wide. "The emperor doubts me," he said. "He thinks my eyes are bad. He thinks I cannot tell the difference. What do you all see? Look closely now. Is this a deer or is this a horse?" Silence filled the hall. It was a heavy silence. It pressed down on everyone. It was hard to breathe. The officials froze like statues. Some stared at the floor. They studied the patterns in the stone as if their lives depended on it. Some looked at Zhao Gao's cold eyes. His eyes were the scariest part. They did not look human. They looked like the eyes of a hawk watching a mouse. They knew it was a deer. Their own eyes told them so. But they also knew something else. Zhao Gao was not asking a question. He was demanding a choice. Agree with him or become his enemy. There was no third option. A man's shoe squeaked on the floor. Someone coughed. The sound echoed in the dead air. Then the answers began. A few officials stepped forward. Their legs felt heavy. One man was an old scholar. He had served the court for 40 years. His hands shook inside his sleeves. "It is a horse," he said. His voice trembled, but he said it loud enough for Zhao Gao to hear. He wanted to survive. He wanted to go home to his family. He wanted to keep his warm bed and his hot soup. He chose to lie. He felt sick to his stomach. But he chose to lie. A younger official nodded eagerly. A fine horse, indeed. Look at that strong neck. Look at those powerful legs. A magnificent beast. He was trying too hard. Everyone could hear the desperation in his voice. He wanted a promotion. He chose to flatter. Some others took a deep breath. They looked at the deer. Then they looked at each other. One man with gray hair stepped back instead of forward. "It is a deer," he said. His words were quiet but clear. They cut through the lies in the room. He chose the truth. He knew Zhao Gao would not forgive him. He knew his career was over. He knew he might lose his head. But he could not call that beautiful animal a horse. He just could not do it. Many stayed completely silent. They pressed their lips together so hard they turned white. They stared at the ground. They counted the stones on the floor. They tried to become invisible. They wanted to keep their heads down. They hoped Zhao Gao would forget about them. They hoped the storm would pass over their house. The emperor watched all of this unfold. He was the most powerful man in the country. He was the son of heaven. Yet he did nothing. He just sat there confused. His mouth opened slightly. Then it closed. He saw his prime minister twist reality right in front of him. He saw his officials bow to that twisted reality. And he let it happen. He was too young. He was too scared. He was too weak to stop it. After that day, Zhao Gao did not forget a single face. He quietly punished every person who had called it a deer. Some lost their positions. Guards came at night and took away their official seals. Some lost their freedom. They were thrown into dark cells where the sun never reached. Some lost their lives. Their families wept in secret. They did not dare to collect the bodies. And the people who had called it a horse? They were rewarded. They kept their titles. They kept their safety. They kept their comfortable lives. They drank fine wine that night. But they could not taste it. Every time they closed their eyes, they saw the deer looking back at them. Word spread like fire through dry grass. Soon everyone in the court understood the new rule. Speak the truth and you pay a price. Repeat the lie and you are protected. It was that simple. It was that brutal. From that day forward, no one dared to challenge Zhao Gao. Whatever he said became the truth. If he said the sky was green, they nodded. If he said winter was warm, they agreed. Reality no longer mattered. Only his words mattered. The deer was a horse. And that was final. The phrase, calling a stag a horse, was born from this moment. For over 2,000 years, Chinese people have used these 4 words to describe something very specific. It means deliberately twisting the truth. It means using power to make people accept a lie as reality. It means turning the world upside down because you can. You might think this is just ancient history. You might think things are different now. You have smartphones and airplanes. You have science and facts. But think about it for a moment. How many times have you seen someone twist the truth because it was easier? How many times have you stayed quiet when you knew something was wrong? Have you ever laughed at a bad joke just because your boss told it? Have you ever pretended not to see something unfair just to keep the peace? This story is not really about a deer and a horse. It is about what happens when people stop trusting their own eyes. It is about the silence that lets lies grow. Lies are like weeds. They need darkness and silence to spread. Every time we stay quiet, every time we nod along with something we know is false, we are back in that palace hall 2,000 years ago. We are standing next to those terrified officials. We are looking at that deer. And we are saying nothing. The lesson is simple and it will never get old. Your eyes work. Your mind works. Trust them. Do not let anyone, no matter how powerful, convince you that a deer is a horse. You know what you see. You know what is true. Hold on to that. It is the only thing that keeps the world right side up. Thank you for watching. See you in the next story.
下集请移步主页观看。